तो पहले क्या करना है? पहले ट्रांसफर न्यूज, राइट?
हाँ,
Yeah.
but 20 minutes में let's wrap up.
ओके.
ट्रांसफर न्यूज वाला नहीं तो वो चलते रहता है.
Hey guys, welcome to another weekly roundup of the transfer news. And let's start again with the big news of the week. So, Florian Wirtz to Liverpool, here we go. Liverpool verbally agreed deal in principle with Bayer Leverkusen for package reaching 150 million euros, add-ons included. Player side already agreed 2 weeks ago, with move now imminent. Word set for medical and contract signing. Big move, right?
Yes, massive. Although, if you would have asked me 2 years back, do I see Liverpool spending 100 plus million or 115 million kind of a thing on a player, I would have said very difficult. But yeah, it's happened. And I think
If
it's
you
he's a
asked me
But
good
two
player.
months back, I would say it would be difficult. Forget 2 years, yeah.
but
Fair, yeah.
when we say this, they've actually broken the record for the most expensive goalkeeper, the most expensive defender, and now the most expensive midfielder. So when they really want a player, they are not shy about spending it all.
Correct.
But is worth really worth this amount? That's a big question.
So I genuinely feel that no player is worth this kind of figure, but there are market dynamics in play, and that is something that you can't control. Like if you see the list of transfers in the Premier League over 100 million, I mean there are a fair few players whom you can term as sporting successes, but I don't think any player can justify this kind of a figure.
So where do you guys see him fitting in at Liverpool? Do you guys think that Liverpool will actually look at a change in formation to get the best
No,
out of
false
Wirtz?
line.
No, I think he'll play instead of Sobozlai.
Really? No,
Yeah,
I think he's. I think they need a proper false line striker. Jota has been injured very often. Nunez is not something they look at as a long term option. I think. I think they are bringing him in to play a false nine role.
no. I think like I don't think this Liverpool team can play with a false nine anymore, how they used to with Firmino, because now they play with a number 10, and a number 10 and a false nine playing together, they occupy a similar space on the field. So I think I feel he's going to replace Soboslai at the number 10 position, and they might get someone else for the false nine position. They've been linked with Ekitike and maybe one or two other guys. So I don't see him playing false nine.
So let me look at some of the stats of Wirtz last year. So as an attacking midfielder from a central area, he had 30 appearances in all, 13 goals and 11 assists with a rating of 7.74. As an attacking midfielder down the left, 5 games, 2 goals and an assist. As a forward, which is a false nine, 5 games, 3 goals and an assist with a rating of 7.27. As an attacking midfielder on the right, 3 appearances, 3 goals and 2 assists, 8.75 rating, but I think safe to rule that out considering Salah is there.
Correct.
And the biggest weakness which is there in his game is defensive contribution. Now, if we look at the present Liverpool squad, they were employing a 4-3-3 last year. Now, one option is that he goes into a false nine role. The other is he becomes like a replacement for Luis Diaz on the left. And the third is they look at what Manan suggested, which is using him as an attacking midfielder and making it a 4-2-3-1 kind of a role.
But weren't
It'll
they
be very
playing
interesting.
4-2-3-1 last year? I think they were playing 4-2-3-1 last year with Soboslai as number 10. It wasn't four three
Um,
three.
Let me check the stats again. 1 second. As per me, at least, I think it was more of midfielder. No, you're right. Szoboszlai was playing as an attacking midfielder center last year. 39
Hmm.
appearances, 7 goals and 7 assists with
Hmm.
a rating of 7.07.
Hmm.
And when he played in the midfield, he only played 5 goals in the midfield and he played a few goals as a defensive midfielder.
Hmm.
So yeah, that can be one option. But then where do you think Bozalai will go then?
I think he goes in the rotation
Okay.
because Wirtz is also new to the Premier League. Like it's not certain that he's going to adapt immediately to the pace of the game, to the style of football. So it might take some time for him to bed into the team as well. And my why I say this is also because I see them being linked with center forwards.
Hmm.
So that tells me that you're not going to buy one player for 100 million and then another player for close to that amount, and then only one of them plays.
Yeah, yeah. If you're spending 150 million on words, practically he has to be the new face of the show, right? It's almost
Yeah.
like you're replacing Salah and you
Hmm.
will have Salah's insurance for the next 1, 2 years, wherein
Hmm.
you can allow words to take over the team, which is
Hmm.
a very smart way of going about it. But if it comes off brilliant, like
Hmm.
for instance, let's say Dembele at Barcelona could not be the game changer, and then now at PSG he's finally found a home for himself.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, interesting, very interesting. So then we have practically at this moment in time, then Luis Diaz on the left, Salah on the right. You've got Wirtz in the center attacking midfield. You've got Gravenberch and McAllister behind them, and maybe an Ekitike or another forward in front. That
Hmm.
is as good a lineup as any that you can imagine.
Yeah.
Plus Frimpong and Kirkes coming in, VVD,
You guys think
Allison, and
they are going to sign
Konate.
Ekitike?
They were linked to him. They were linked to a lot of strikers, to be very honest, because Nunez, I don't think he has convinced a lot. And like you mentioned, Jota's injury record is horrible. Let me pull out Jota's record 1 second.
Yeah, Jota has been too injured too many times. So
Yeah, he's 28, and he actually, in terms of appearances, it's not bad, honestly. But I'm thinking, no, yeah, he started 20 games last season as a forward, but he only had 3 goals and 3 assists, which is a problem.
Hmm. Hmm.
So in terms of number of starts, that's not an issue. And if I look at Nunez, wait,
So 20 games is not too much. Yeah.
it's not me considering the expectation of Jota. I would have like 20 games was more for me than I would have
Acha,
imagined.
no, no. I thought
Uh,
20 to hoga hi.
uh, no, 20 starts and 23 substitute appearances.
So
So
that's like that is more than
pretty recent.
expectation. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nunez का exact similar है, wherein 22 starts as a forward, 7 goals, 2 assists, and 29 as a substitute.
Hmm.
So essentially, it's very interesting. Yeah.
so basically, then they're adding words instead of Saboslai, which gives them double the output in terms of goals and assists.
Hmm.
For sure.
And they are going to add a striker, which is going to give them double the output in terms of goals and assists as well.
Hmm.
Double होना चाहिए ideally, but again, it depends on how everything like comes together, right? Like
Hmm.
it may be a combination of too many cooks in the same wok
Yeah.
because Salah is there, then you've got Wirtz,
No,
then you've
I'm
got
assuming that Salah might not have the kind of season that he had this year.
fair enough. Yeah,
So
to
basically,
kind
you are
of
replacing,
reduce.
yeah,
Yeah,
you are
Hmm.
fair
replacing
enough.
some of the goals that you were over dependent on Salah for, and you are spreading it out to the new center
Hmm.
forward and words, basically.
Hmm.
So who is the ideal candidate? Because Ekitike honestly is not your typical striker, right? He's someone who can drop deep. He's someone who can play in multiple roles. Wouldn't a Gyökeres make more sense here? Someone who links up play really well and someone who's a great box finisher.
I think someone very similar to Nunez who can finish. Like
Then I
And
that's
think
the
who are
only
the
Gyökeres
issue
would
with
have
candidates?
been a
him.
great
Yeah.
option for them, right? You have
Sorry.
Sorry?
Salah, who will be an amazing creator.
Huh.
Gyökeres actually, then, if you think about it, would be a great option for them, right? Who basically you are generating a lot of
Chances.
opportunities via Salah, Wirtz, and Luis Diaz, and then you have a
Hmm.
very, very strong finisher at the end of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, but I don't think they are in for Gyökeres.
Which is surprising
Yes,
if
I
yes.
this is
think
the move
perhaps
they're
they
doing.
don't see like value in purchasing someone for 70, 80 odd million when he's 27. I don't think that fits the model of Liverpool's recruitment
Could be,
strategy,
yeah.
and that's why perhaps they're not linked to
Fair
Correct.
enough.
The only team that fits that model is Man United.
it. Of course, I'll be happy to have Jokeres in my team right now.
Mm.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Totally
don't
worth
think
the money.
any, yeah, I don't think any doubts on that.
Yeah.
But
Like,
interesting, interesting.
give me Embuemo and Jokeres both and shut the transfer window tomorrow. I think it's a huge upgrade to last year for sure.
So you don't want Rashford and Sancho and Anthony to leave either.
अरे वो तो वैसे भी खेले नहीं खेले. What I'm saying is like to add to the squad if there is no more addition, that is still a good transfer window.
No, I completely
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, but I think United are doing things which will help them this season and the next few seasons together.
Yes.
Because instead of signing unknowns like a Van de Beek or
Hmm.
let's say an
So Van de Beek was
Anthony,
not an unknown. Huh? He was a hot property when we signed him.
no. When I'm saying unknown, unknown to the Premier League.
Huh.
That is the biggest difference which is coming out of the last, I think, 10 odd United
Yeah.
transfers, right?
Yeah.
Wherein you sign potential from different leagues, but by
Hmm.
the time they get to the Premier League, you realize yeah, they are not Premier League ready. And if you look
Hmm.
at the other end of the spectrum, you look at someone like a Saliba who was very highly rated, even
Hmm.
when he was at Arsenal, but he
Hmm.
got those 2 years in the French league.
Hmm.
And those 2 years in the French league with regular first team football actually prepared him very well. And then he had the guidance of Gabriel to kind of, bed him into the system.
Hmm.
And now I think he is, aside from Van Dijk, the premier defender in the world. Yeah, like I don't think any other defender comes to mind right now except for Saliba in terms of how a centre back should kind of function.
Hmm.
So I think United, this model works
Last
better
time,
because, bolo.
last time United bought a Premier League player, it was Maguire.
But in all honesty, the manager's tactics played a role there. If you see in
Yeah.
a back three, Maguire actually has been playing very well. He's not a back two player. That's the biggest problem.
But when they signed him, I think he used to play as a back two.
Huh. But
But
when
it was in a team wherein their entire defense was low block, clearing the
yeah.
ball, and then he had the impetus of once in a while going forward with the ball, and he made it look easier. Like if you are on
And
the
Yeah,
front
but
foot all the time,
when Solskjaer was playing
hmm,
we
with
used to play
Maguire,
counter-attacking football only.
low
Na?
block, yeah,
And
low block counter attacking.
and
so that
Maguire
worked
was
for
good
him,
when
na?
Solskjaer was playing. उसके बाद ही issue
Yeah,
हुआ when Ragnick
No,
came in
even the
and
problem
then
was
Ten Hag
even with
came in.
Solskjaer. Yeah,
No, not at all.
yeah,
He made
yeah.
Maguire captain. Yeah, there
The
was no problem
That
with
didn't mean
Maguire.
that he was playing well.
No, he was.
The problem was always since the beginning you
No,
signed
no,
him.
no, not at
Yeah,
all. Not at all. He was playing very well in
we
his
will
first
let the
couple of seasons.
United fans comment in the put their comments in the section. Let's see.
Sure, of course, of course.
Maguire is a tricky one, but if you look at the history of United, whether it's a Cantona or an Andy Cole, or let's say later on with Rio Ferdinand or Michael Carrick, I think these were signings which completely elevated them to the next level in most of the
Hmm.
season, and RVP, of course.
Hmm.
So whenever they have actually gone the Premier League route, it's actually helped them. Wayne Rooney. So I think Cunha for sure, he's already in the door. Mbuemo even right now, despite Thomas Frank becoming the manager of Tottenham, it seems that he has his heart set on United. So I
Hmm.
think again that is a good move. And
Hmm.
Gyökeres, I think maybe due to a lack of options, unless Arsenal really go for him, I think he may also end up at United.
So I think Arsenal thing is not happening because the latest news was that Sporting is asking for 80 million and Arsenal are not willing to pay that.
Yeah, I also came across that. But you never know, Varun. Like, I think on one of the chats that we were discussing, it is imperative that Arteta wins something in this season, right? And you want people who are going to be coming in the door completely ready. Because you see City right now, City have created a monster squad again. Maybe they'll take some time to gel, but I think they are very serious this year. Like, I don't think Guardiola is going to accept anything but competing for the title next season. Then you look
Yeah.
at Pool, which is again strengthening on top of winning the league. And because of these two teams, Arsenal have a very clear mandate, right? You get a very, very good left-sided forward, whether it's a Rodrigo or a Leao or someone who's top notch. You get a ready-made center forward. Even if you get an Ekitike for 80 million, ideally he will take 1 or 2 seasons to kind of build up, right? You would rather want someone who's going to be ready, giving you 20 goals a season right now. And Zubimendi, unless I think Real Madrid really make a move, I think he's going to Arsenal for sure. So you've already got one area covered. You just need two more areas, and then you can actually see what Arteta can do this season. Because if he signs someone subpar, I don't think it'll work for him. And if he doesn't win the title this season, or if he doesn't come with another trophy this season, I don't see him being in a job next year.
Yeah, the only problem is that we don't have any assets that we can sell. So, or we would want to
Zinchenko,
sell.
Zinchenko, you'll get 10 million full profit because like I think you guys signed him for lesser money and uska pura contract khatam ho gaya, right? And he's I think in the later stages of a renewed contract.
Yeah, but
Similarly, I
that 10
think
million is like a drop when you're considering Zubimendi for 60 plus
no, but
and
FFP wise it'll be the same thing, no? Like Zubimendi 6 year contract will be 10 million a season. And Zinchenko, you get 10 million full profit, which can be
उनके
accounted
पास
against
cash भी
that.
तो होना चाहिए ना. I mean, they should
That's a
have that
different thing.
much
Yeah,
availability, right?
yeah, yeah.
Also, the thing is that I don't think they want to exceed that 180 million, 200 million kind of a target. Where if you're signing Zubomendi for 60 plus, you're left with 140, and in that 140, you want a forward and you want a left-sided player. Correct. If you spend 80 plus on a striker, then you're left with like 55, 60, and I don't know whether we'll be able to sign a 55, 60 million left-sided player or not. So
You can
it's
take
a fine
Garnacho for
balance.
60 million.
No, we don't want him for free also. But yeah, like I think also like they would want to see where it's going with Cesco before committing that amount of uh,
By the
money.
way, your pick from last year, Sancho is available for 25.
No, I am very worried that they are going for Sane.
Sane is gone already. Sane has been confirmed by Galatasaray, 3 year contract.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Good, good,
Yeah.
nice. I was thinking that it would be another next year's Arteta rescue mission for Sane.
No, but
He's
one
every
very
year there's a
interesting
project
player.
player for him.
Yeah. But one very interesting player, and I'll lead it into a discussion. Uh, the Crystal Palace playmaker, Ebery Eze. I think he is a very interesting player in the Premier League right now.
Hmm.
He was a very, very informed player towards the second half of last season, made his England debut recently, and he is someone who creates a lot of chances from open play.
Hmm.
And he can play both on the left hand side as well as in the central areas. So, I'm not sure if Arsenal will be in for him for no, but if someone is looking for a left sided player, he's someone who can bring in that little bit of added flair
Hmm.
and opening up low blocks.
So he was actually my first choice over Cunha to take the inside left number 10 position. In fact, now when the rumors for Spurs also came for Mbuemo, he was an alternate option that was linked to United. That if Mbuemo doesn't go through, then Eze could be the other option that United look at. I would be happy with that option also. If like I don't know if he's very capable playing on as a right number 10, but if he is, then it's a very good option to have because United need players who are good at breaking a low block, and I don't think Cunha is that player.
Cunha, the advantage is that because he can score so many goals from outside the box,
Hmm.
one, he will attract defenders to come close him down, and which will open up spaces for others around him. So if let's say when you have like if you remember someone like a Lampard, he used to shoot from outside the box and he had a great timing to get inside the box, right? So when he is ready to take shots, suddenly it opens up the lanes for the forwards to come and get on rebounds and make life difficult for the center backs as well as the goalkeeper. So Cunha, I think, is a no-brainer, yeah. Matlab, unless United hierarchy ruin him, I don't know. But
No,
on
see,
paper,
what
it
I'm
seems
saying
like a
is
great move.
over Cunha, I would have taken Eze. That's what
Hmm.
I'm saying. Like Eze also does all of these things, and he has more creativity in him, right? Like he can
Creativity for
break
sure.
low blocks in a different manner. Like Cunha will
Hmm.
attract players, and perhaps that will break a low block.
Free up.
Eze will break
Yes.
a low block in a different manner. So what I'm saying is, out of the two, I would prefer Eze.
Fair enough.
What's the next player?
So the thing is, last week was a break from transfers. So there are a lot
Mhm.
of like let's say not very big transfer news, but I'll give you one example. So Bournemouth are going to be losing Milos Kerkez. So they have
Mhm.
signed Adrian Truffert, who joins them as a new left back.
Mhm.
And then you have the Italian league, which defies age practically. So Pedro has signed another year extension at Lazio,
Hmm.
and Edin Dzeko has signed for Fiorentina apparently. So I think wahan pe it's like the 40s club which is going on over there.
So Bournemouth, just to interject here, Bournemouth has lost three of its four starting defenders. Huijsen has gone to Real, Kerkez is on the way to Liverpool, and the other centre back is on the way to PSG.
Zabanye.
Yeah,
By the way, Brentford have signed Ange
Like Brentford have signed Ange.
Postecoglou. Yeah,
Really?
really?
yeah.
Let me check.
Why do I only
Is it?
keep getting his news, man? I got his news about him getting fired the first. Now I'm getting his news of him getting hired the first.
I don't see it anyway. Yeah?
Not confirmed yet, but yeah, the odds have been slashed.
I say, okay, fine.
You are a betting man, na? That's why you get all of these.
I have never bet a single time on
Imagine,
any of the games or any of the
imagine,
transfer
You bet
rumors.
your beard,
imagine.
bro.
But imagine Haru getting the most fast-paced news of Spurs managers ever.
He has an alert so he can start trolling them faster.
That makes sense. Let's wait for this to develop, but this will be fun. So
Yeah.
imagine if Ange goes to Brentford and wins the trophy ahead of Spurs again.
But only in
Yeah,
the second season.
Brentford versus Spurs FA Cup final, and
Crazy.
and Brentford wins that.
That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is very interesting. So the Club World Cup has started, and so far we have seen a few matches. So Inter Miami drew in the first game against Egyptian side Al Ahly. And
Mhm.
I actually saw a bit of that game because it was early morning, and Al Ahly actually dominated. And Inter Miami were all over the block. And They were lucky to kind of scrape away with a draw. Then there was a demolition wherein Bayern Munich beat Auckland 10 goals to nil. I'm not kidding. It was
And
absolutely
Kane scored
insane.
0 goals.
Kane didn't score, but he didn't need to. I think he was being, yeah, just making sure that, he doesn't embarrass them further. But it was absolutely insane. Then you had PSG annihilating Atletico again 4-0. And Vitinha, again, I saw a bit of the game. Vitinha was like again having a masterclass. He scored a goal, he created one all over the place. Uh, Palmeiras and Porto drew 0-0. Uh, I was keeping an eye on that because of Estevao, who's going to be joining from Palmeiras to Chelsea. Uh, some very good touches, one close, shave of the post, but I don't think he is physically ready for the Premier League. That's my opinion. And tonight we'll see Chelsea take on. There's a club, LA something, not Galaxy. There's one more club,
LAFC.
LAFC.
Hmm.
And the reason I was mentioning it is because after the 4-0 defeat, Diego Simeone was interviewed and asked about PSG, and he had a very cynical quip. He said that when Luis Enrique needed help on the left wing, they spent 70 million in Jan to sign someone.
Hmm.
And essentially, he is communicating to the board that he is not getting that kind of money to invest in
Hmm.
the Atletico squad.
Hmm.
And this can be a tricky one because so far, very rarely has Simeone come out against the board of Atletico, right? So in case
Hmm.
this develops into something big, then there can be some movement on that front.
I think they'll just give in to what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he has that kind of pull in the club with the fans.
Okay.
It's just like he's God for them, like for the club, for what he's done there, for the fans, for the players. Like he is what Ferguson was to Manchester United. Like he controls
Without the titles, though.
without the titles, but I mean it's a very different setup, right? Like you
Mm.
can't compare Atletico. The fact that he has two league titles is
It's crazy
enough,
itself.
right? Like
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't mind if, in case Arteta leaves, that Simeone joins Berta at Arsenal.
But the
Style of football will be very different.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be not a fit for Arsenal at all, right? It'll be like a
Yeah.
complete, it'll be like a Mourinho type of.
Yeah.
Okay, so one quick question. How many goals do you think PSG have scored only in 2025, beginning from Jan 1st till now?
102.
105.
Wow.
This is insane output.
What a right signing can do for you. Huh?
Not just that, I think it was a combination of a lot of things. In fact,
Uh,
I was going through another interview of Luis Enrique, wherein he was asked the secret of his success post the break. So he said that he opted to give his team an additional 9 to 10 days of leave. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to keep them fresh on the field rather
hmm,
than, he's focusing a lot on tactical training and he's
hmm,
focusing a lot on games. He's not making them too tired.
hmm,
So he said that is the big difference which he has employed this season compared
hmm.
to maybe in the previous years, which seems to be
And I
working
think
well for them.
all teams will go that route now because the calendar is just so packed. You need to give players rest. There's no option.
Mm.
Also, Luis Enrique can afford to give players rest because of the league that he's in. That
And
helps
the squad.
definitely. Like
Yeah, yeah,
And
and
the
the
yeah.
squad
squad, yeah,
size, yeah.
yeah.
And the quality of the squad players.
True. Then there is a youngster signing. Understand Swear Naipan has landed in Manchester ahead of his medical tests as a new Man City player. I
Hmm.
think this is another 18-year-old who's just come into the City system and he'll be
Yeah.
immediately loaned out.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the new Odegaard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Arsenal was very heavily linked to him also before City swooped.
Matthias Tel has signed a 6-year contract with Tottenham,
Hmm.
and here the news is that Levy has actually managed to get him for 10 million less than what he had agreed for.
Hmm.
So again, like on the commercial front, Levy is really, really good at getting deals done, right?
But I mean, he
In
didn't really set the Premier League or like the team alight last year when he played. Um,
Again, very
like,
young signing. It'll
but
take
very
him
young
time.
and it will take him time.
Yeah,
Yes.
Gattuso has become the new Italy national team manager, which will
Mhm.
be good to see.
Now I want them to qualify for the World Cup. Like you
Yeah,
need Gattuso there.
yeah, really fun to see for sure.
Yeah.
And there was a link via Romano itself, which said that Gyökeres' priority is to join Arsenal this summer,
Mhm.
despite calls from Man U in recent weeks.
Yeah.
Gyökeres is always an option amid Sesko talks, with no deal sealed so far. Arsenal assessing the situation. This was around 24 hours back as the
Mhm.
last update.
Which makes sense also because he gets to play Champions League, and I feel that Arsenal may be able to pay more to Sporting than United would be.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And in some, let's say, unexpected news, Andy Robertson has emerged as a key target for Atletico Madrid. So
Hmm.
initially they went after Theo Hernandez, but somehow the deal could not happen. So now Andy Robertson seems to be their go-to
How
person.
many years does he have left? 1 year or 2 years?
I think one. I think one.
1 year. Yeah.
I'll have
So
to
now
reconfirm,
Atletico
but
is
seems
signing
like
a lot
one.
of English players these days.
Yeah.
Like
Started with Trippier,
Trippier, yeah,
Gallagher.
Gallagher. Now this guy,
Yeah.
English, British, people
Correct.
from the UK, basically.
Raul Asensio has signed a new deal at Madrid till 2031.
He
His
deserves it.
his release clause is 1 billion.
I think Real Madrid imagines that every player they have is a Ballon d'Or winner. Like
Yeah.
सबका release clause उस level पे होता है.
I think these are the main ones.
Mhm.
There are no
Cool.
many new transfers. I think we'll see a lot of more links coming in. A couple of rumors were there. There was one very interesting rumor which I think, if true, would have been absolutely amazing. So before the start of the Club World Cup, Inter Miami had offered a short-term contract to Cristiano Ronaldo, which he
Yeah.
refused. Now, if that would have happened, it would have seen Messi and Ronaldo play together for the first time ever.
I think that would have justified the kind of money that the Club World Cup is actually generating.
This would have been
I
really interesting.
yeah.
I
I think
think,
that would have just like magnified the money generated by sponsors and ticket sales by
Yeah, yeah,
10x.
yeah, for sure,
Just
for
for
sure.
3 games.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you see Trent, Real Madrid is paying 10 million for him to play 3 extra games. Because for the knockouts, he would have anyways been eligible from 1st July onwards. So they are last year around this time, Ancelotti makes a statement that Club World Cup is irrelevant. I don't want to play it. I don't want my team to play it. And within a year, Real Madrid is so serious about this tournament that they are willing to pay 10 million extra for a player just to play 3 games to qualify from a group which they would anyway qualify from.
No, so उसका एक
It's
link, दो
the
links है actually. One is
हाँ.
कि any player who comes into the setup, he
Hmm.
gets time to train along with these guys as part of competitive games rather than preseason games next year. So that 1 month window, right? It gives the manager, and the manager is also new, right? Jabi Alonso. So it gives him time to assess what the player is about in competitive action, which
Hmm.
will help him frame an idea of how he wants to use him in the coming season. The
Hmm.
second, again, there is a documentary which is out wherein it is said that BBC, Sky Sports, a lot of broadcasters refuse to bid for the rights of the Club World Cup. DAZN came in last moment and they bid straight away $1 billion. Dollars.
Hmm.
And Saudi Arabia is actually shown as giving $1 billion to DAZN 2 months before this. And during that same timeline, 2034 World Cup has been scheduled at Saudi Arabia. So there's a very, deep link which is showing that FIFA agreed to give the World Cup to Saudi Arabia practically on the condition that they invest money in DAZN, who then takes the broadcasting rights and makes the Club World Cup popular. So it's,
Yeah, but how is
yeah.
it relevant to like Real wanting to spend 10 million for Trent, right?
Real wanting to spend is the first bit of the information, wherein you want Jabi Alonso to see a player in competitive action, at least during the main season, before he comes on board next preseason. But in terms of the relevance to what Ancelotti said, it is more relevant now because if you are getting 100 million fixed money from the
Hmm.
Club World Cup for finishing in the, let's say, the latter stages,
Hmm.
this competition is going to only grow and grow. So
Yes, yes,
you,
100%.
yeah, so you would want to definitely be a part of this tournament one way or the other because, like for instance, Chelsea this season did not qualify for Champions League, but
Hmm.
just by being part of this setup, if they can make it through the knockout stages, they
Hmm.
will have enough money, which let's say someone like a Newcastle or a Villa would have earned.
Yeah. The
And
value of
all
winning
for
the
one
Champions
month.
League just goes up multifold.
Yeah, cool. So any other comments on this?
No. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Do let us know your thoughts. Which is the signing that you guys are most excited about? Which is the rumor that you guys are most excited to actually see it materialize? Do let us know in the
Sterling to
comment
Arsenal.
section. Do let us know in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Sterling ko no one is buying, yeah. 325K on the books for 2 years more.
घटिया प्लेयर घटिया
लाइव तो बंद कर दे.
Do you guys want to do the Chelsea keep lens or keep loan sell?